Okay, the best way to attach your Aura ring. Now, yes, this looks different, but it's the same app that you're in. So if you go to your U page and you hit the gear icon and you come down to app integrations, you're going to see the Apple Health, the Fitbit, the Aura. I do have my Aura connected, but honestly, it pulls most of its information from Apple Health. In fact, I didn't even know I had my Aura ring connected. So the best that I have found is that you go to your Apple Health, specifically if you have an Apple, click on your steps, scroll down, and you want to do this no matter what. If you're using Apple Health, whether you're using Apple Health with your Oura Ring, your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, your phone, whatever. And when you scroll down, you want to make sure step apps. No, I'm sorry. I know what I'm doing. Click data and access sources. So what I did is I went down all the way to the bottom of steps. So let's go back to the beginning because I was being ridiculous. So click steps, scroll all the way to the bottom, click data sources and access. It will do this little wheelie thing for a while. The circle of death. There we go. You want to make sure Everfit is turned on. These are the apps that are allowed to read the data from Apple Health. So make sure Everfit is turned on. I also make sure my Oura Ring is turned on. So it can both pull information from Apple or from Apple Health as well as feed it. You'll see in a minute what I mean by that. Okay, so I would also turn your Oura Ring on. Then you want to go down to data sources. Now, I have an Apple Watch and my phone also collects data. So click edit here for a second. All right. You want these are the data sources. These are the things that are collecting the data, the activity, the steps. Okay. You want to have them listed in priority. So if you find that your steps aren't matching, say, your Apple Watch or your Oura Ring, and your phone is listed first, that's why it's only pulling steps from your phone. Second, it pulls from Oura. Third, it pulls from your watch. So your steps will always be lower, specifically if you don't have your phone on you a lot because your phone has been listed as the priority. So make sure that phone is listed last. So for me, my Oura Ring is priority. Why? Because that bad boy is always on my finger. Sometimes I walk around the house for up to an hour before I put my Apple Watch on. So my Apple Watch is second in command as far as pulling steps. So make sure they're listed just like this. I don't know why Apple Health is actually on there. All these Apple Watches below, those are from reboots, things like that. I didn't own that many Apple Watches. However, every time you reboot, whatever, it lists, and I haven't taken the time to delete them all. So those are my top three. Then just click done, and you can exit out. Then you want to make sure your Apple Health is connected. So now if your Apple Health is connected, it will then pull in your steps. So 55 steps today. So it'll pull in your steps from. So this is, if you were to look at this in my Oura Ring, it practically matches. And it'll pull all your steps over. Okay? It sometimes is a little higher because my phone comes in. So if you look at my Oura, it's at 18. So pretty freaking close. 1824, 1827. It actually says I have less steps, and that is probably because I also have my watch attached, and I'm going to guess my watch yesterday was a little lower. Well, that's not even true. See, I walked around with my watch without my watch on. So it only says 13,000 steps yesterday. So that's actually what drew down my steps. So that's why, but it only pulled it down by 1 step, as you can see. But that is why. So if I had had my Apple Watch listed first, it would have said I did less steps when I really did 18. Okay, so that's definitely, I'm glad I showed you that. That is why. And then if I showed you what my phone said, good God, it probably was like 5,000 steps. So